Go Ask Alice, December 3rd. Last night was the worst night of my shitty, rotten, stinky, dreary, fucked up life. There were only four of us, and Shelia and Rod, her current boyfriend, introduced us to heroin. At first, we were a little afraid, but they convinced us that the horror stories were just so many American myths. Ha! But I guess I was pretty excited, and the truth is, I really couldn't wait when I was watching them set up. Smack is a great sensation, different from anything I'd ever had before. I felt gentle and drowsy and wonderfully soft, like I was floating above reality, and the mundane things were lost forever in space. But just before I was too out of it to notice what was going on, I saw Shelia and that cocksucker she goes with lighting up and setting out speed. I remember wondering why they were getting high when they had just set us out on this wonderful low, and it wasn't until later that I realized that the dirty son of a bitches had taken turns raping us and treating us sadistically and brutally. They had been that had been their planned strategy all along, the low-class shit-eaters. When Chris and I finally came down, we crippled our way back to the apartment and talked for a long time. We've had it. The garbage that goes with drugs makes the price too goddamn high for anyone to pay. This time we are really going to watch out for each other and help each other. I had condemned Richie for being a frigging homo, but maybe I should have given even that mother a break. With the shit he was on yet every day, it's no wonder he was out of control. Still December 3rd. Chris and I talked again and have decided to leave this screwed up scene. We've got $700 counting yesterday's pay, so we can maybe start a boutique in some not too great area. We're certainly not going to chipper around anymore. We've both had enough of that. I hate to leave Mr. Milani. He's been so kind and good and considerate of me, but neither Chris nor I can even stand the thought of seeing or hearing from that sadistic switch hitter Shelia again. So I guess I'll just leave another thanks and I love you note. December 5th. We've been spending 10 hours a day looking for a place with no luck. Now we've decided maybe we should start a shop over close to Berkeley. All the kids there wear lots of jewelry, and at least Chris got some of the suppliers' names before she left. And I'm sure I can do some original things just from having watched Mr. Milani. That should make it a really fun shop with Chris doing the buying and the selling and me doing some original work. December 6th. Well, today we found it, our new home. It's a tiny ground floor apartment really close to Berkeley, which has now become a commercial district, so we can use the kitchen and bedroom for living, and the living room and the microscopic dining room for our showroom and a workshop. Tomorrow we move in and start painting. We have a nice bay window only a few feet from the street, which will make a fantastic display window. And if we repaint and recover the furniture, it actually won't be too bad. We're going to do all sorts of mad things, like covering the old worn tabletops with felt, which is cheap, and putting fake leopard on the chairs and on part of one wall if we can afford it. It will be good to have a place to call home again, and this one will fix up to look loved and lived in. We didn't spend one single penny on the other apartment. December 9th. I have spent too busy to I have been too busy to write. We have been working 20 hours a day. We both laugh about how much we would like a Dexy, but neither one of us will weaken ever again. We haven't done a thing to our living quarters, but our showroom looks adorable. Already a number of kids have stopped by to tell us how great it looks and to ask us when we'll be open. We couldn't afford carpeting, so we've painted the floor candy cane pink and the walls we've done in pinks and whites and with all the accents in warm, soft red and purple. It looks simply great. Instead of using leopard, we decided to use fake white fur and it's simply scrumptious. Chris has been down at the wholesale houses all day and tomorrow we open up with or without sleep. December 10th. Apparently, Chris knew just what to buy because just today we've done $20 worth of business. She's going to have to go back to the market tomorrow. December 12th. The plumbing leaks and the toilet gets stopped up, and we only have hot water part of the time. But it really doesn't matter. Kids stop by to watch our TV, which we have in the showroom, or just to sit around and rap. We cut the legs off the dining room chairs so they are only about a foot from the floor, and with the five of them, one was broken beyond repair. We've got a nice little conversation area. Today, one of the kids suggested we stock our refrigerator with a few cold drinks and then charge 50 cents for them with TV privileges. I think we're going to try it. In fact, we've even considered getting a cheap secondhand stereo in a few weeks if things continue to go well. Our showroom is really quite large, and we really only need half of it for business. Most of the kids seem to have plenty of money, and they buy enough to surely allow them chair privileges for a while. December 13th. Today, one of the boys who's been in a number of times offered to sell us his stereo for $25 because he's going to build a new one. We were elated and are staying up tonight to refinish it with red velvet and gold thumbtacks. Won't the kids be surprised tomorrow? I'm glad I'm always so tired I fall asleep the minute I touch the bed because I don't want time to think, especially about Christmas. December 15th. This morning, Chris left early to go to the wholesalers, and I was listening to the stereo while I cleaned up the showcases. Then, She's Leaving Home began playing, and before I knew what was happening, I had tears dripping down my face like two spigots had been turned on inside my head. Oh, that song was written about me and all the others of thousands of girls like me trying to escape. Maybe after Christmas, I'll go home. Maybe even before Christmas. This whole mess with Richie must surely be cleared up, and I can go back and start in school at half year. Chris can have the whole shop, and we should be fairly well established by then. Or maybe she'll want to go home with me, but I won't even mention it for a while. December 17th. It's beginning to get a little monotonous for Chris and me. All the kids want to talk about is their hangups and how they feel when they're using. I remember Dad's father before he died talking on endlessly about his aches and his pains. These kids are beginning to hit at me the same way. They never talk about what they want out of life or their families or anything. Just who's holding, how much bread they'll get next year, and who has the least crumbs at the moment, and will they cover. And the crazies are beginning to get to me too. I wonder if we really are going to have a full scaled revolution in this country. When they're discussing it, it all seems pretty reasonable and exciting, destroying everything and starting again. A new country, a new love and sharing and peace. But when I'm alone, it seems like another insane drugged scene. Oh, I'm so utterly confused. I can't believe that soon it will have to be mother against daughter and father against son to make the new world. But maybe they'll wear me down to their way of thinking by the time I'm in college, if I ever get there. December 18th. Today we just closed our doors and took off. It's the first time we've both had out together in weeks, and the kids and their hangups were really beginning to bug us. We took a long, leisurely bus ride and then splurged on an expensive, many coursed French dinner. It even felt good to be dressed up again after all the beating around in old pants and work clothes. But all the Christmas things in the windows in the stores make us both a little lonely inside, although neither one of us says anything. I was even trying to pretend to myself that I wasn't affected. But I guess to you, dear diary, I can tell the truth. I'm lonely. I'm heartbroken. I hate this whole number and everything it stands for. I feel I'm wasting my life away. I want to go back to my family and my school. I don't want to just sit listening to other kids who can go home for Christmas and who can write and phone when I can't. And why can't I? I probably haven't done anything that these kids haven't done. All dopers are part time sewer dwellers. The two go hand in hand together. December 22nd. I called Mom. She was so glad to hear me I could hardly understand her through the tears. She offered to wire me money or have Daddy come and get me, but I told her we had enough and that we'd be back tonight on the first plane. Why didn't we do this weeks, months, centuries ago? Stupid us.